Let's see again the tiebreaker rules in Tournaments of Tennis Clash, a sports game published by Wildlife Studios. Here are the official rules from Tennis Clash that will answer your question: what if there is a tie between more than one player in TC tournaments? I explain them again in this video because a lot of subs playing Tennis Clash don't seem to understand them very well. I'm going to write those rules, then use examples to try and make them clearer. There is a tiebreaker rule in case two or more players score the same during any round of the tournament. The tiebreaker rule will give advantage to the players with, in order: first rule, a better net points difference, named balance, based on the players' score points minus their opponent's score points. Let's take an example. Player A has a balance of 175 after having played 20 matches on 7 points format. Player B has a balance of 174 after 25 matches too. It's simple here. Player A has a better balance. He has scored 175 points and his opponent scored 0 points. So his balance is 175 minus 0 equals 175. It's a better balance than player B, so player A will rank higher than player B. Second rule, the most wins. Let's take an example. Player A and player B have the same score, 145, and the same balance, 99, after having played 25 matches of 7 points. Here, the rule number 1 cannot determine who ranks higher because both players satisfy the rule number 1. So we have to see who has a higher number of wins. Player A has reached that score and balance with 19 wins. Player B has reached that score and balance with 18 wins. Then, player A will rank higher than player B because player A has a higher number of wins, 19 being superior to 18. Please note that contrary to what a lot of players believe, including me until recently, the number of defeats does not matter at all. No matter how many matches you have lost, it is the number of wins that counts, not the number of defeats. Losing many matches will not always be a handicap to your final rank, and losing fewer matches than an opponent will not always make you rank higher than him. Let's take the two players A and B that I have talked about just previously. Even if during his final round, player A had lost 19 times but won the 19 retries just behind, then those 19 retries still count as 19 wins. The 6 other defeats, not improved by retries, still counts as defeat. And if during his final round, player B had won 18 times on first try, not retrying, and lost only 7 times, that means that player B only lost 7 times, so fewer than player A, who lost 19 times. But because the number of defeats does not matter, player B still ranks lower than player A because player A has more wins than player B. All that to say that you should not worry about losing during tournaments. Focus on winning, and with as many 7-0 and with as few retries as possible. Those are the points we are going to talk about now. Rule number 3. The most wins that end with a score of 0 for the opponent. Let's take an example. Player A and player B have the same score, 170, and the same balance, 140, after having played 25 matches of 7 points. Both of them won 23 times. So the rules number 1 and number 2 cannot determine who will rank higher because both players satisfy the two rules. So now we have to see who has a higher number of wins with a score of 7-0. Player A has played more matches, ended with the score 7-0, including the matches played using gems to retry after a score different from 7-0 than player B. Then player A will rank higher than player B, even if both have the same score and the same balance, because player A has won more 7-0 matches than player B. For all cases mentioned above, gems can be spent to try again matches and replace the worst result That means to replace a defeat 6-7 by a win 7-1, for example. Tiebreaker rule number 4. The player with the lowest number of matches, fewer rematches, play will be ranked higher. Let's take an example. Player A and player B both have a score of 175, a balance of 175, 25 wins with the perfect score of 7-0. Here, the rules number 1, number 2, and number 3 cannot determine who will rank higher because both players satisfy the 3 rules. Then we have to see who has played fewer matches in total, meaning who had retried the least after a score different from 7-0 to determine who will rank higher. So, if player A made the 175 balance thanks to 24 wins with 7-0, 1 defeat 6-7, and 1 win 7-0 on rematch. That means 1 defeat improved after retrying with James. And now if player B made the 175 balance thanks to 25 wins, 20 matches won with 7-0, 5 won with 7-1, and 5 retry matches with James won with 7-0, then player A will rank higher because of a lower number of matches played in total. 25 for player A versus 30 for player B. Player A has played fewer rematches, 1 rematch versus 5 for player B. You can note, by the way, that in this example, player A lost 1 match and player B lost 0 match, but player A still ranks higher than player B. That means that the number of defeats does not matter at all to determine who will rank higher, like I said previously. Tiebreaker rule number 5. If 2 players are tied in all the criteria above, the winner will be the player who finished all the matches first. Try again for matches bout with James included. Let's take an example. Player A and player B have ended their round 25 matches played on 7 points format with a 175 score, a 175 balance, 2 rematches each. Here, the rules number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4 cannot determine who will rank higher because both players satisfy the 4 rules. We need then to see who ended his round first. So if player A had finished all his matches and rematches before player B, then player A will rank higher than player B. It is virtually impossible for both players to finish their round at the same second. So we should never need a rule number 6 to determine who ranks higher if both ended their round at the same time. But if that happened, then wouldn't there be a random selection by TC of the player who would rank higher? Well, Tennis Clash team has told me that there isn't such a random selection and that this scenario has never happened yet. You can read those Tennis Clash tournaments tiebreakers rules via this link www.bit.ly/tc tiebreaker. Just write this address in any browser and then tap on Go so as to open the page. Feel free to leave a comment under this video if you have any question about those tiebreaker rules in TC tournaments. I will reply with pleasure whenever I can. Well, I hope you enjoy watching me try and make the tiebreaker rules clearer in tournaments of Tennis Clash, a sports game published by Wildlife Studios. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel Gameplay TC5 and to turn on the bell to stay tuned for new videos of Tennis Clash. Thank you a lot for your support and see you soon on Gameplay TC5. Bye-bye.